they're in like the top
This is
15.
awesome. Say it again, Max. Say it again. We're on full Savage too. Max just went off to go kick some trash cans over, and we wanted to do this one on like gaming theory. All right, tip in gaming theory. So Max just walked me through this idea of get to the bottom of the stairs first, and I wanted him to share it with you. So Max, talk me through your get to the bottom of the stairs first idea.
Are we really recording this with me filling up a water and walking?
Yes. That was the best. I wish I could have recorded like 10 seconds earlier, but we got. So get to the bottom of the stairs first. Talk me through it.
Yeah, so all right. I was kind of going through this on all these things are competitions, but if you do the smallest amount of work, you're probably doing more work than a lot of the competition. So there's a way to earn more than the average just by doing a slight amount of research to figure out how to better earn. And they get to the bottom of the stairs example was like if you're leaving a sporting event and everyone has the same goal, they want to get to the bottom of the stairs and get to their car and drive home. But if you're going down the stairs and in your mind you're racing everyone, you'll pass some people, you'll get to the bottom of the stairs faster than other people who are just walking to the bottom of the stairs because they don't know they're competing with you. So it's the same kind of thing with these token projects is, like people are like, oh, cool, I'll set up a thing and I'll earn some tokens, whatever. But
that's
then
totally
if you're
me.
able to then
I'm like just sauntering down the stairs and you're racing down. I'm like, oh, look, I got this cool thing. I put in my car. I put on my roof.
Yeah, so it's by doing certain things to increase your rewards, you're earning an outsized amount of rewards compared to what you should be earning, just because you're putting in like a small amount of effort. And then obviously there's levels to that too, like you could rappel down the side of the stadium, or you could just jump and get to the bottom fast. Like there's plenty of other things that you could do to be being first and being the best.
And I think that was kind of the takeaway there is that not only can you kind of go down the stairs as fast as you can, but as this ecosystem is growing, is we're seeing, you and I are seeing, I think anyone who looks will see, is that professional gamers or cheaters or whatever you want to call them are entering the space. And it's not just like, one guy saying like, oh, if I, put my hotspot, we'll just use helium as an example. If I take my hotspot out of my living room and putting it by a window, it's better. Or putting it by a window and then getting it up on my roof, it's even better. Now we're getting into folks who are saying, how do I maximize getting everything I can out of the system as fast as I can? And that's one of the things we look for when we look at a new project is like, how easy is that to do?
Right. Or if my hotspot earns really well and I add a second hotspot there and that earns 75% as much as it was before, well, now those two hotspots together are earning 1.5 times what I was earning before. So, it's still a really good spot, right? Yep. So, yeah, you got to figure out kind of what some of these inefficiencies are, because, it won't be as efficient to stack some stuff up in the helium example. But if it lowers your costs and you don't have to rent another location, you don't have to go and set up on another spot, you find another host, all that stuff.
Yep.
Like, there's all these little things that can be done, and if you don't factor in all the outside factors, like some of these extra costs that are ancillary, then you're not going to create a better system.
So let's think of this then, Max, as like if you can stack miners and it doesn't add value to the system, either the system needs to be changed or it's not worth participating in that project. Or if you can stack anything, right? If you can stack mappers or miners or whatever it is, and not add value to the system, but extract more and more. From my perspective, looking at that, if we're advising a founder or an investor or someone kind of running the show, is like, hey, we need to make sure the incentives are aligned to not allow that.
Right, and I think a lot of these founders get caught in the trap of like, all right, we're emitting X number of tokens every month anyway.
Yep.
Why do we really care if they're going to, some are going to other people that, we're still emitting the same. There's no added cost to us, except, we've seen with other projects where you have a mapper component, for example, adding more mappers adds zero value to a network. Right. However, what it does is because they earn well, people end up buying mappers instead of buying the things that are being mapped.
Right. The rate is to provide coverage. Yep.
So that's dollars that people either aren't spending on the token that help the token go up in price to incentivize more people to build, or it's dollars that aren't being spent on the actual equipment that the network is made up of. It's just adding dollars going into the trash essentially to add redundant mapping data that has no value at all.
Yep. And we've got this tough thing because, we got folks who are coming into this who are just curious. They want to see what it's like, or they just want to participate. And those are the people who are just like walking down the stairs and they don't realize they're competing with a bunch of other folks. So I've always said, and I still stand by this, like I think all of what I do with helium is like, oh, it's for the good of the network. Like I'll put out a giant helium antenna or whatever, a station on a mountain because it provides a ton of coverage. But that's like kind of stopping on the stairs and like building a small handrail or something. Like it's not really doing the network a ton of good. And if I'm competing without knowing it, like I'm actually end up losing quite a bit.
But you do know you're competing, right? Like there in the stair example, there's a sign above the stairs that says like the first 50 people to get to the bottom of the stairs get ice cream, right?
Right.
Like the rules are there.
Right.
It's just it's up to you if you want to read the rules, which you should, and then take that and figure out, okay, how can I make the most money off of this?
Love it.
And if that answer doesn't align with how do you build the best wireless network or the best decentralized map or decentralized power plant, whatever it may be,
yep.
Then that's when the founders should look and say, okay, how do we get people to do what we want them to do because we created these rules and they're not doing what we want them to do.
Yeah. Yep. No, I think it's a great place to wrap that up. Is that, hey, here's the problem: is get to the bottom of the stairs first. The second problem is not everybody knows they're competing. The third problem is everybody should know they're competing, and the fourth problem is that you got to make it so that the competition is fair, so that for everyone who does read all the information, it's a fair playing field.
Exactly.
So, ripping. All right, that wraps this one.